Heavenly Father, we give you thanks and praise for this moment in time. And we ask you, Lord, that you would bless the leaders of our land and that we may be a people at peace amongst ourselves. And we pray, Lord, that as you have made us in your own image, so that we should seek joy in creative work, we give you thanks for your creation and for those who work brings us joy and especially healing. And we ask you now, Lord, to be in our midst, and that may we do everything this afternoon to your honor and glory as we present the work of our hands to you. Lord, bless us more than in past days and continue to use us, your creation, to your honor and glory and for the edification of your people. All this we ask in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
At this time, we ask you to remain standing as we have the national anthem of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be played by the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force Band. Invite the Reverend Carrie Marcel once again to lead us into a gospel song. To God be the glory.
The police band can help. To God be the glory is found on the programs provided, page 2. To be the glory, great things he has done, so lovely that he gave us freedom, who yielded his life and atonement for sin, and the life gate that all may go in. redemption, the purchase of blood, to every believer, the promise of God, the highest offender who truly believes that moment from Jesus our pardon receives. Let me hear his voice, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, through Jesus the Son, and give him the glory, great things he has done.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Governor General, Your Excellency Sir Frederick Ballantyne, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. the Honorable Ralphie Gonsalves, Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, the Honorable Luke Brown, other members of Cabinet, members of Parliament, members of the clergy, former government ministers, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Mr. Cuthbert Knight, Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Simone Keyser Beach, Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba, Your Excellency Vilma Reyes Valles-Pino, other members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, senior public servants and CEO and members of the private sector, representatives of the media, ladies and gentlemen, residents of Georgetown and surrounding areas, and constituents of North Central Windward in particular, good afternoon. It is indeed a beautiful afternoon here, and I think the song "To God Be the Glory" was very fitting to get us started this afternoon, because it is a glorious day to see the opening of this magnificent edifice, this center here in Georgetown. And I want you from the very beginning to put your hands together for all those who have been involved in its conceptualization, its construction, and now today, its opening. And we move right along to give you the official welcome. A man who was very much working hard in getting things together for today, and over the last couple months and weeks has been very busy. Put your hands together for the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, Mr. Cuthbert Knight, to give you the welcome.
Protocol having been established, I will just go straight into the welcome. It gives me great pleasure to extend to you all a very warm welcome on behalf of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Environment, and to say how grateful we are to you for accepting our invitation to attend this grand and historic opening ceremony of the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center right here in Georgetown. I don't know if you are aware or if you all have noticed, but there is certainly an atmosphere of excitement surrounding this magnificent and marvelous facility. An excitement which started to peak when the date for this ceremony was announced. I would also like to particularly take this opportunity to also extend a warm welcome to those of you who have traveled long distances. You have made a huge effort to join us here today. We value your efforts and deeply cherish your presence. For those of you who have come to this state-of-the-art facility for the first time, I am all the more delighted to welcome you and hope that you are pleasantly surprised to be at a part of what is going to be one of the interesting experiences of your life. I am especially honored to welcome our specially invited guest. We are deeply appreciative and offer you a superb welcome, fit for royalty, and that's what you are to us. Esteemed and distinguished colleagues, guests, and everyone here, I am sure that you will concur. This is a great day. The weather has aligned with our wishes. I look around and I am truly in awe to see so many beautiful faces, enthusiastic men and women who are here to mark the grand opening of arguably one of, if not the most substantial investment in health since our colonial history. A true state-of-the-art facility whose timing could not have happened soon enough to ensure access to advanced and highly specialized diagnostic services, especially in the rural communities. And this is truly in keeping with our overall objective to improve the quality of life of all Vincentians and our policy to provide quality health care services that are accessible and affordable to all Vincentians. Finally, before I pass you back to the Master of Ceremonies, who will outline the events to mark this memorable occasion, once again, please accept my heartfelt thanks for all of you for being here and giving me the chance to welcome you. I really hope that you will enjoy today's proceedings and that the Almighty God will truly bless us. Thank you very much.
At this facility, they have played an integral part and will play an integral part in its staffing as well. I want you to really give a special round of applause and welcome to the Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Her Excellency Vilma Reyes Valdespino. Welcome her to give some solidarity greetings this afternoon.
Good afternoon. His Excellency Frederick Valentine, Governor General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves, Prime Minister, members of the Cabinet, distinguished guests, dear people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Cuban compatriots. The opening of this integral diagnostic center consummates a dream of Commander Fidel Castro. The inspirer of the construction of these centers to strengthen the efforts of the fraternal countries to increase health coverage to their people, offering quality public medical care. It was also the Fidel's idea to assign a contingent of experienced Cuban medical specialists to this facility. These 23 specialists will work together with their Vincentian colleagues, sharing their knowledge and experience. Cuba provided technical advice in the construction of the center and made a donation of medical equipment, which importance lies not only in the amount, but in the will of the Cuban people, besides, and blocked by the imperialists to stand firm in its internationalist vocation and in its conviction that the better world is possible. Other countries have also made an invaluable contribution to this magnificent installation. For the quality of equipment, the quality of the professionals involved, and for the wide range of services that will be provided, this center is called to become a powerful pillar of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines national health system, and also a reference for the region as a whole. This facility, given by the Vincentian government to the service of its people, which brings together a beautiful design, modern and functional environments, technologically advanced equipment, and an experienced medical and technical staff, is an irrefutable proof of the power of friendship, solidarity, unity, and the unwavering will of the state to serve its citizens. We congratulate all the Vincentian people on the inauguration of this modern medical complex, and we wish you many, many years of successful use. Thank you very much.
in giving to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you. At this time, we are going to have a young man who has also been very deeply involved in this project, and he would be here to give you an overview. Put your hands together and welcome Mr. Damian Allen, Quantitative from the Ministry of Transport and Works, to give you an overview of the project.
Good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Protocol being established, I would like to move right into my presentation. And I just want to say that I have the distinct honor of presenting the project report for the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center. And I really thank our ministries for the opportunity to do this presentation. The Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center, formerly known as the Modern Medical Complex, earnestly began construction in 2007. And it has been a journey which involved much effort and many hands to come to this point today. This facility is welcomed at this time, especially in the north and windward side of the island, as it will reduce the vulnerability of the neighboring communities, offering various services that will increase the standard of medical care for all. The building has a total square footage of 44,000 square feet, or 4,000 square meters. The cost of construction was approximately 42 million EC dollars. The ground floor houses areas for dialysis, oncology, radiology, accident and emergency, surgery and outpatient clinic, central sterilization and supply department, kitchen, laundry, storage and maintenance areas on the ground floor. The first floor houses the air handling units for air conditioning. The facility is complemented by areas designated for parking, green spaces, and storage areas. The MMDC is outfitted with the necessary mechanical, plumbing, and electrical components for air conditioning installation, medical gas supply installation, fire alarm and fire fighting systems, a 500 kVA standby generator, a backup water pump. These systems are complemented with the necessary subsurface electrical supply and disposal plumbing systems. The project was conceived in Cuba and supported by a team of Cuban engineers designed the physical structure, which came to being under the directorship of the Office of the Chief Engineer of the Ministry of Transport and Works, and the local on-site project management team, which over the years consisted of both local and Cuban professionals, too numerous to even start to list. However, I would like to take this opportunity to especially congratulate our local project management team of Ms. Deidre Myers, project manager, who more or less left in 2015 to do other duties at Braxa. Mrs. Diane Neptune, Mrs. Farah Jack, Miss Samantha Peters, Mr. Raymond Duggan, and Mr. Elliot Laborde, who all played a very integral part and did their part in managing the day-to-day operations of the project. I'd like you to give a round of applause for our project team. The project enlisted the involvement of several specialists, local, regional, and international, both large and small contractors, executing many various tasks involved in the construction. Again, too numerous to start listing. And of course, I would like to take a much needed leave in peace. You know, I would like to take a much needed leave in peace. However, I would like to take this opportunity to also especially congratulate all our local contractors, both small and large, for the work that they did and the level of time that they devoted to this project, which allowed the maneuvering of these complexities. Your value for this project cannot be measured in only monetary terms. For your involvement in this project, the ministry gained a deeper appreciation for the procurement and project management skills that are needed to complete a medical facility. The value of collaboration between ministries and statutory bodies cannot be underestimated or overstated, as the project also saw special contributions from various ministries and statutory bodies. Again, these are too many to list, and however, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize Braxa, whom brought impetus to the project over the last 6 months. We clearly see their work through the transformation of the grounds of the facility. They have done general clearance, demolition, and removal of excess debris, construction of access road, a parking lot, refurbishing of the container which you see behind us, construction of civil structure for the fuel storage tank, which is to my immediate left, covering of walkway, construction of 2 water fountains, rebuilding fence for Georgetown Hospital, retrofitting over 25 pieces of furniture, well built and well decorated, which are blessing the facility currently. It is estimated that the value of their works is over $0.5 million. Generally, a project is a physical structure, as dollars and cents and delivery time. Although this cannot be dismissed, we should also appreciate that a project is far more than that. This project has touched so many lives, many of whom may be standing in our midst today. It has encouraged the network of individuals and daily interactions that allow the project to see its completion. Many have left with new friends, a new mindset, a new skill set discovered. Some have developed better negotiation skills and formed new alliances that can benefit them in the future. Many of our local workers had the opportunity on this project to hone their skills and now have a great appreciation for high quality, stepping up their game in the level of work that they produce. This project has instilled a sense of pride in many of the workers. You can see their faces and hear their voices and recognize that they are very pleased to have contributed to this magnificent structure. The project has taught vigilance in procurement, preparing and managing contracts, and exposed us to different suppliers both locally and internationally, and the many methods of business and procurement. In some cases, it was trial by fire, of course, but in the end, it was a job well done, and the lessons learned are invaluable. And of course, I gained a few more gray hairs, but it was a very good opportunity to develop my skill also as a quantity surveyor. I would like to thank the project management team of the Ministry of Transport and Works under the directorship of the Office of the Chief Engineer for their valiant contribution towards this project. I would like to also thank the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport and Works and also the Ministry of Health for their guidance and encouragement during some of the most challenging times. Your encouragement and your support have led us to this day. And we thank you for your support. We thank you for your contribution to all the workers and everyone who would have set their foot here on the grounds of Modern Medical Complex, now Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center, during our construction. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Damian Allen, for your project overview. Very comprehensive indeed. Our next speaker has had some busy weeks herself, carrying out her normal functions and also having to deal with getting this facility ready and opened. And so today I want you to really show her some appreciation and give her a warm round of applause and a warm welcome as we invite the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Simone Kieser-Beach, to give you an overview of the services to be offered here. Welcome her in a special way. Thank you.
Governor General, Sir Dr. Frederick Valentine, Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves, Minister of Health, Wellness and the Environment, our own the Honorable Luke Brown, other members of Cabinet, members of Parliament, members of the clergy, former government ministers, especially our former Minister Clayton Bergin, PS of the Ministry of Health, Mr. Cutman Knights, Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba, the Honorable Vilna Reyes, members of the Diplomatic Corps and the Consular Corps, senior public servants, CEOs, members of the private sector, representatives of the media houses, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. In 2007, when our Honorable Prime Minister sat with Comrade Fidel Castro discussing a diagnostic center for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the recognition of the importance of such a fundamental facility to Cuba, having the third highest life expectancy in the world, and thus the potential impact on the health and well-being of Vincentians, was obvious to these visionaries. The public recognition of the epidemic of non-communicable diseases by CARICOM followed in September of the same year with the Port of Spain Declaration. One tenet of the Port of Spain Declaration is the need to increase prevention of NCDs and non-communicable diseases by developing and enhancing screening programs. First, fast forward to today, the Diagnostic Center, conceptualized in Cuba, has blossomed, truly blossomed into the wonderful Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center. Part of the Georgetown Medical Complex, providing extensive diagnostic and treatment services, including the first public hemodialysis services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and a full chemotherapeutic unit. The Georgetown Medical Complex comprises, as I said, the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center, the Georgetown District Clinic, and the Smart Hospital. The GMC will provide primary and secondary health care with a focus on primary and secondary preventative services alongside acute and subacute care. Allow me to provide a brief description of these services. Primary care. The first interaction with the healthcare systems takes place at the Georgetown District Clinic, one of 39 such clinics that form the backbone of our community health services, where maternal and child health clinics, diabetic and hypertensive clinics take place on a weekly basis. Clients seen here or at any of the other facilities north of Baraboo can be referred to the MMDC for their laboratory investigations, as we have a full biochemistry and hematological laboratory on site, and sample collection services for tests not done at the MMC lab. They can also have their basic x-rays and ultrasounds done at this facility. They can collect their prescriptions from the pharmacy and receive their physiotherapy in the physiotherapy unit. Clients requiring further investigations or care for ophthalmological or eye conditions, gastrointestinal or bowel conditions, cancer therapy in terms of chemotherapy in our 9-bed chemotherapy unit, and dialysis, hemodialysis for kidney impairment in our 9-bed dialysis unit will also be able to access that care here at the MMDC. Other specialist outpatient care includes internal medicine, general surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, including family planning services, foot care, urological care, that's for the bladder and the prostate, and nutrition services. Ambulatory surgical procedures such as the removal of little lumps and bumps, cataract surgeries, and endoscopies will be performed at the MMD&C. Our operating theatre, however, also has the capacity to do major emergency surgery if necessary, as the operating theatre is supported by a 4-bed ICU with a surge capacity of 6 and a 4-bed recovery room also with a surge capacity of 6. In terms of acute care, the MMDC has a 6-bed emergency room with a surge capacity to 8 beds for emergency care and treatment only. Clients with coughs and colds and oral complaints will continue to go to the district clinic. The Acton Emergency Department is for emergencies previously seen at the Georgetown Smart Hospital. Patients requiring admission to the Georgetown District Clinic from the Georgetown District Clinic, or from the MM&DC A&E will be admitted to the Smart Hospital, or if necessary, they'll be transferred to the Milton K. Memorial Hospital. Patients requiring short-term observation after being seen in the A&E here will be accommodated in our 4-bed observation area. In terms of operationalization, so today, July 2nd, the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center will be formally open. And as of tomorrow, Tuesday, July 3rd, the A&E, the laboratory, the X-ray department, and the pharmacy will be operational. The MM&DC Administrative Services, a department of the Hospital Services Program, supervised by the hospital administrator, the medical director, and the SNO of the Milton K. Memorial Hospital, commenced work prior to this official opening and will throughout the remainder of this week facilitate the full operationalization of the remaining services. This week will allow for the proper infection prevention and control protocols to be applied following today's opening activities that allow access to the facility by the general public. The standard operating protocols, including fee structure and patient registration transfers, would apply. And we're not finished. We have future services to add. So in the future, we intend to add mobile mammography services, an expansion of the range of ambulatory services, a second site for our herbal pre-administration for patients with leg ulcers, and our expansion of our diagnostic services. Thank you.
Our next speaker, I was looking at his head to see if he got any gray hairs over the last couple of weeks, but I didn't see any. I was also trying to figure out if he lost any hair, but it looked like he took a nice shave and a nice cut. So even if he lost some hair, you couldn't really tell. But I want you to put your hands together and welcome our very young and very hard-working Minister of Health and the Environment, the Honorable Luke Brown.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, the Governor General, Sir Frederick Ballantyne, who is a physician, Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who is in a very happy mood today and who is walking with a spring in his step because he sees that a dream has come true with the opening of this Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center. Other members of Cabinet, Her Excellency, the distinguished Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba, other members of the platform, specially invited guests, the staff of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, and I want you to give them another round of applause, please. They did well to bring us to this point. Representatives of the Ministry of Transport and Works, representatives of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, public servants, friends, well-wishers, and fellow Vincentians at home and in the diaspora, good afternoon. I would like to acknowledge right at the very outset the presence of a former Minister of Health here on the platform, Clayton Borgin. Join me in acknowledging him, please. He is one of the persons who put in a lot of work on this project, and it is fitting that he would be here with us today to mark this occasion. If I have been able to get anything done, it is because I was able to stand on the shoulders of giants like Minister Clayton Borgin. And there are others who were involved in this project who are not associated with the ministry anymore, perhaps because of retirement or for other reasons. I want them to know, wherever they are, that we remember them and we appreciate them. This is a glorious and wonderful day for healthcare in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have come out in our numbers to witness the opening of the modern medical and diagnostic center. This is a long anticipated moment, but we are here at last. I know it took a little while in coming, but as they say, hurry, hurry, bird, don't build goodness. Equally, a hurry, hurry government can't build a good hospital, or more precisely, a state-of-the-art medical center. Unless you're doing it on Farm Bill. We had to make sure we got everything right. If we look around us in the region and beyond, we will see evidence of failed health infrastructure projects. In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have success stories. Good things come to those who wait. The song printed in the program is most appropriate for this occasion. It was selected by Sir Louis Straker, who is a man of great faith and insight. To God be the glory, great things he has done. And this modern medical and diagnostic center is certainly a great thing, which was done by the Lord through the instrument of the Unity Labour Party government, which he raised up under the leadership of Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves. This is a great thing that will transform the state of healthcare services in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This medical and diagnostic center would give new hope to persons suffering from kidney disease and many other medical problems. It represents a massive leap forward for our country's health and development. And so, I must repeat with emphasis, to God be the glory, great things he has done. The government of this country believes that there should be health for all. Or in other words, we believe that all Vincentians, irrespective of color, class or creed, should have access to adequate and affordable healthcare services. If this is to be the case, then one of the things we need is an adequacy of health facilities. This helps to explain why the modern medical complex project was so important. You may have noticed that in recent times, we have been devoting considerable energy and resources to building or upgrading the healthcare infrastructure in this country. There are the soon-to-be-opened polyclinics. There is the Mental Health Rehabilitation Center. We renovated and refurbished sections of the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. The Georgetown Hospital right nearby, across there, was converted into a smart hospital. And that's not even the full story. I say, without fear of contradiction, that this new modern medical and diagnostic center would make Georgetown the Mecca in the delivery of health care in the English-speaking Caribbean. Simply put, this modern facility is a major breakthrough for health for all, and it would help us to better address the healthcare needs of our population. We are now in a better position to save and improve lives. It was built and equipped at a cost of around $42 million. I grossly misstated the amount on Thursday in Parliament, and perhaps that's why Damien did the same thing today. The project was financed principally by the central government and the National Insurance Services. We had considerable help in many respects from the Republic of Cuba, which contributed human and technical resources for the construction phase of the project, donated medical equipment, and sent a medical brigade consisting of 23 health specialists and other personnel to work alongside local professionals and experts to start up operations at this center. We thank Cuba most sincerely for being with us at every step of the way with this modern medical complex project, literally from its inception. We have heard how this project was conceived through a conversation between our Prime Minister and Cuba's late President Fidel Castro. It means, therefore, that this center is not just a first-class healthcare facility, but also a monument to the friendship and solidarity which exists between Cuba and St. Vincent and the Grenadines at all levels. The Republic of China and Taiwan should also be mentioned for its very valuable contribution of $1.5 million worth of medical equipment for the facility, and we are hoping to get more equipment from Taiwan. I hope the ambassador heard that. The modern medical and diagnostic center would help improve the situation where access to health services is concerned for the 40,000 people living between Bayabu and Fancy, and also for the entire country. Additionally, it would help to expand the range and depth of diagnostic and medical services provided at our hospitals. Significantly, the center will be the first public facility to do hemodialysis, which is a special treatment for patients with kidney problems in this country. This is no doubt good news for Vincentians who need this type of treatment and would otherwise have a hard time affording it in the private sector. The cost of dialysis to an individual varies between $30,000 and $72,000 per year. In the years 2015 and 2016, a total of 53 persons died as a result of kidney disease. A person with kidney disease can live a relatively normal life if appropriate treatment is available and affordable. One of the government's goals is to prevent avoidable deaths by improving the quality of healthcare in SVG. The Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center helps the state to achieve this goal. We want persons with kidney disease and other health conditions to be able to access the services they need to live as normal a life as possible. We take to heart the words of the current Director General of the World Health Organization, an Ethiopian by the name of Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, who reminded us in a campaign speech at the World Health Assembly in 2017 that persons who need dialysis do not have to die, and they do not have to become poverty-stricken trying to pay for very expensive medical care. They can live a fairly normal life, and that will be the new reality in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. When the imminent opening of the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center was announced on social media, a young lady spontaneously responded with a sigh of relief. Finally, mommy could come home and get treatment. Another person said, our country is making progress steadily. And yet another individual remarked that we are making strides in healthcare. The general sentiment was that things are happening in health and that we are seeing the dawn of a new day. This is true, and what a glorious day it is. I was having a conversation with a lady upstairs for these footsteps a couple months ago. She was telling me about her husband, who is on dialysis overseas. I told her that he would be able to come home when the center is open. She replied by saying that she wasn't so sure about that because he was a complicated case and required a vascular surgeon, that is someone who performs surgeries on blood vessels, to carry out his treatment. I looked at her, smiled and said, don't worry, we will have a vascular surgeon too. When we say modern, we mean it. We mean that we must be at the cutting edge. I thank the young man who volunteered to participate in the test dialysis treatment. He obviously had great faith in us. I also commend the consultant nephrologist or kidney doctor, Dr. Twana Brown Caesar, who's here. Who fortunately I can also call my sister, for her committed and passionate leadership as we start up these services. Sometimes we could take our own people for granted. There are some countries in this region, St. Kitts and Nevis is a case in point, which have no nephrologists. We have more than one, and that number was bolstered further by a Cuban nephrologist. This is as a result of strategic thinking in health. This modern medical and diagnostic center is much more than a glorified dialysis facility. Besides dialysis, there will be a wide range of other medical, health, and allied services provided here, as already outlined to some extent by the Chief Medical Officer. We will do chemotherapy here and hopefully radiation in the future. There is a lab, a radiology department, a pharmacy, an intensive care unit, an accident and emergency department that will be open 24/7 and more. The modern medical and diagnostic center would help take pressure off the accident and emergency department at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. And listen to this. The Pan-American Health Organization has a vision for the modern medical and diagnostic center to become the first chronic disease prevention center in the Caribbean. This is significant as we prepare for the third high-level meeting on the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases in September. Even though we have this facility now, we should all strive to live in such a way as to reduce the likelihood of us needing to come to the center after its opening, except maybe for a little sightseeing. There are more than health benefits to be derived from this new center. It is also good for the local economy. It would provide direct and indirect employment, stimulate commerce, and contribute to decentralization and rural economic development. A medical school might be attracted here to set up a campus in Georgetown. I remember a popular song from a few years ago which said, "Georgetown mash up, mash up." We now have to change the lyrics to say, "Georgetown build up, build up." And even the blind could see that comrade big up the sugar city. I would like to make a point about the name of this facility. The new facility during the construction phase was loosely known as the Modern Medical Complex. the cabinet took the decision that its official name will be the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center, as you heard me say several times during the course of this speech. This is one of 3 facilities that would form part of what would be formerly known as the Georgetown Health Complex. The other 2 facilities are, of course, the Georgetown Smart Hospital and the Georgetown District Clinic. The functioning of the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center will be fully integrated and synchronized with the functioning of the Smart Hospital. I am grateful for the opportunity I have had as Minister of Health to see this project through to completion. I'd like to believe that the Prime Minister entrusted me with this important task with confidence in my ability to get the job done, and we did it. The project required active leadership and careful attention to details. It was time-consuming, intense, and seemingly never-ending at times. However, we are like the mother who forgets all the pain of labor as soon as the baby is born. This facility is our baby, and we have to take care of it, even as it takes care of us. It is an honor for me to be at the helm of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment at this time of great transformation and improvement. We face the challenges in strides undaunted, with the firm focus on the prize of bringing about health for all and helping all people to exist in the highest possible level of health. This is our mission, come what may. That is the service that we are committed to providing for our country. We have responsibility within our portfolio for many projects and initiatives that have a strong bearing on national development and our fortunes as a people in this nation. We take our job seriously, and I would continue to put my best foot forward, working with all stakeholders in the pursuit of optimal outcomes. Please note, it doesn't end here. The opening of this Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center will be followed in quick succession by the opening of 2 polyclinics, one in Bukament and one in Maraqua. We will shortly commence repairs on the roof of the nearby Smart Hospital and later on carry out some other work within this complex. Don't think that this is the end of the road. It is an ongoing process. We are at a good milestone, but it is not the end of the road. There is, as always in these matters, a lot of work still to be done. We are happy for this achievement, but we are already setting our sights on the next goals, including building the acute referral hospital in Arnersville, the new city. We are happy expanded access to hemodialysis in this country, but we know that dialysis for a kidney patient is meant to be a temporary solution, and we should think about being able to perform kidney transplants. We must not be satisfied with anything but the best in the world. We are in a position now to resume chemotherapy, but we know that we have to do considerable work to strengthen our cancer treatment program, possibly through partnerships. We will work our healthcare system up to higher and higher levels of complexity, even as we strive to get the simple things right. We remember today, in a special way, all the persons who are no longer with us and who could have benefited from the services that would be provided at this facility. I thank Health Solutions for the work they did in this area before the government was able to get to this place. We thank God for those who are still alive and who will have this facility at their disposal and whose outlook is therefore much brighter. Today was made possible by the hard-working staff of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment and the Ministry of Transport and Works. I would like to thank all members of staff, the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Cuthbert Knights, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Simone Keyser Beach, the Hospital Administrator, Sister Grace Walters, Mrs. Donna Bascom, who was marooned out here for the past several months and helped to push things along, Miss Idinga Miller, who assumed the post of Deputy Hospital Administrator, and who the legendary Dr. Cecil Cyrus might say is worth her weight in gold. The nurses, doctors, engineering staff, including Mr. Raul Shallow, who fought with one technical issue after another until it was solved. The IT staff, including Mr. Aspit Bala and everyone else. This was a great team effort to make sure we got this done. We partnered with the Ministry of Transport and Works and enjoyed the firm support and guidance of the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. BRAXA was a great help. I want you to give BRAXA a round of applause. Sometimes we're impatient with them when they're not fixing our roads, but they certainly give us some assistance here in building this complex and these roads that we have within it. BRAXA was a great help, as was the Central Water and Sewage Authority, VINLEC, and a number of other state and external agencies. We must give credit where it is due. Thanks, everyone. We have delivered a facility worthy of our civilization, and our citizens will be all the better for it. I am happy that we are here today for this opening, and I look forward to the commencement of services at this great facility, which would benefit Vincentians from all walks of life. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Minister Brown, for that wonderful presentation. And I noted that line, and I'm sure perhaps in another season we may have that song that he talked about. But I love this one line out of it. Even the blind could see, comrade, big up the sugar city. Put your hands together once again for the Honorable Luke Brown. I know that Father God blessed me, and that is without a doubt. Our next speaker has been a blessing to this country, a blessing to this land. There are those who think that this area is not worthy of this type of facility. But we have been blessed with a leader who sees this as a fitting place. The entire country is lucky to have him as Prime Minister. You are lucky to have him as your parliamentary representative. And I know today is a day that he has been looking forward to with great joy. And so I ask you to give him a very special, warm round of applause and welcome our Prime Minister, your parliamentary representative, Dr. the Honorable Ralph Igonza.
What is for me? What is for me? Oh yes, it will be. When I go back there, still my joy, still my joy, still my joy. A blessing for you and a blessing for me. Blessings after blessings.
Mr. Chairman,
Blessings after blessings.
Your Excellency, the Governor General, Cabinet and parliamentary colleagues, the members of the diplomatic corps, and please forgive me if I single out the distinguished ambassador of the Republic of Cuba this evening. The senior officials and members of staff of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, other senior public servants and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the staff of the modern medical diagnostic center, including the professionals who are here from the Republic of Cuba. We are very happy to have you. And the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, especially those from the best constituency anywhere in the world, North Central Windward, members of the media, and of course the police band and Genesis Steel Band. We are very happy to have everybody here. Now, I want to say how regretful I am and saddened that Fidel is not here with us. Not only not here with us physically, but even if he were alive to see what we have done here, he would be very pleased. I want to first of all thank him and his successor as President, Raul Castro, and his successor in turn, President Miguel Canel Diaz, whom I intend to see on Wednesday the 11th. I'm going to Cuba to see my comrade. And I want to thank them and the Cuban government and people from the bottom of my heart on behalf of our people for this amazing facility designed to improve markedly the delivery of health services to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The first time that Fidel and I talked about this was in the month of June 2005. In the month of May, I had gone to Trinidad and Mount St. Benedict to commune with our Lord and Savior, and to reflect upon my own life and how I related to my fellow men and women.
Yes.
I spent 10 days in a Benedictine monastery.
Oh.
I went to see him in June. And I remember it like yesterday. As I entered the room at the Palace of the Revolution, he told his foreign minister at the time, and there was one interpreter in the room, as I entered, he said to his foreign minister, "Philippi, here comes the Benedictine," referring to me, because I had come from monks in Benedict. And then when I sat close to him, he said, "Remember this, I am a Jesuit." He said, "I was trained as a Jesuit. And in the church, the Jesuits are more powerful than the Benedictines." And I conceded that to him. And we began to talk for hours until, as we say, 4 in the morning. Drinking a lot of coffee and talking about everything concerning our respective countries and the world. We had a very close relationship. And we discussed several things, including the Argyle International Airport, and he said, "What about, you think we can do at the same time a diagnostic center?" I said to him, "Yes, but let us talk a little bit more about the airport first." And then I went to see him subsequently, again, up to 4 in the morning, again drinking plenty coffee, on subsequent visits. And when we decided to build this, I said to him, "I don't want one as small as those which are built in Venezuela. I want the biggest and the best for St. Vincent and the Grenadines." He said, "Comrade Ralph, you'll get the biggest and the best." Which is what we have here. Now, I began to speak about our encounter, and after my visit to the monastery. Because in the preamble to our Constitution, it is stated that our nation is founded on the belief in the supremacy of God and the freedom and dignity of man, which also include woman. Good. And when we are setting about to do anything, we have to have a combination of faith and reason. We have to have divine inspiration and a human creative imagination. I know when I went to Mount St. Benedict, when I came back, they say Ralph went to Wagobia. Yes. Well, you know, I don't bother. Once I know what I'm about, And
a blessing.
When we are constructing this, we surrounded this facility with a lot of wool galvanized. You remember? Those who are criticizing don't know what was happening in here, you know. They said that Ralph building a medical complex, building it under suffrage. You ever hear a man build anything under suffrage? Yes, yes. No, I want them who have been saying those things to go to the people from Barley to Fitzhughes and from Stubbs, including parts of Mesopotamia, right up to Fancy, to tell them, to tell us that we don't deserve facilities like these. So what we must do? We must build proper house up here.
Yes.
We must build trash house.
No.
And what land up because of a blow? Bad mind. The greatest natural disaster threat to us is not the volcano. It's the storms and the hurricanes, a category 5. Since 1902, we have not had a cataclysmic eruption. But we have had so many storms and hurricanes and landslides representing the real danger. Trump say, don't bother on climate change, it's a hoax. Well, I say, my dear brother Donald, what you say there's fake news? And then they said, when they got caught out on that, they say, well, it's too far. How you could come from Beckway and come all the way to Georgetown? What about the people who leave Beckway and Chateaubelair and go for these services which we are providing here in Barbados and Trinidad and Cuba and America? Georgetown further? They don't teach? Georgetown further? This complex which we have here, there are 4 important facilities. The first one is this playing field which is about wellness. We fixed it up, we grass it properly, we extend it, and we build a pavilion. And then, as part of the whole medical complex, we have a clinic. We have the smart hospital. And we have the modern medical and diagnostic center. There is no place in the entire Caribbean, no place in the entire Caribbean that you have playing field, clinic, smart hospital, and modern medical and diagnostic center like we have here in St. Vincent. Now, I want those who are using these facilities to listen to me carefully.
Tell them.
If you want, as usual, to get an injection, you don't go to the Georgetown Smart Hospital or the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center. You go to the clinic. If you have a little cut on your foot and your hand, or you have a old injury that you want to dress, you don't have to go to accident and emergency. That's not an accident, nor is it an emergency. I know that everybody might want to go into this new magnificent facility if you want to get an injection, or if you want to dress your foot. No, you go to the clinic still. And the Georgetown Hospital has 25 beds. This Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center has 41 beds. But this is not intended for you to have long stay. You come, you check out yourself. If we had to look at you for the night, 2 nights, but if an operation is done on you, and you have to spend, after you had the initial recovery, and you have to go and spend a week or so, we will put you over in the Georgetown Hospital, because there's a direct connection, a walkway covered between the Modern Medical Diagnostic Center and the Georgetown Hospital. So that they constitute a whole, but each of them has its own respective role. And it may take a while for you to understand where you should go. But in time, with good listening, you will know where you will go. In any case, is one compound. Now, Luke pointed out to you, and I want to put it in simple, straightforward language, and I'm not reading a speech, I'm talking from my head and some notes. The contract is already awarded to change the roof over at the Smart Hospital. We want to put the roof in the same type of galvanized and the same color like this one. Want it to be stronger and better and pleasing to the eye. But we didn't want to start that until we opened this Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center. And there are some repairs to be done on the clinic, including by the pharmacy. So what we will do is that while we are repairing the pharmacy at the clinic, you will be able to access your medicine, your drugs from the pharmacy, which is here in the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center. I want to explain it simple so that you see that it is one. And we have an administrator. She's a deputy hospital administrator, but the person responsible for here, Ms. Idinga Miller, who did a first degree in medical administration in Jamaica at a university and subsequently did another degree in management, and she had been working in the area. We had a lot of very good candidates for the job, but the Public Service Commission selected her. And she'd be the one who would be administering the Modern Medical and Diagnostic Center and also the Smart Hospital here at Georgetown. The clinic is under Community Health Services, which is under the Medical Officer of Health. But the clinic will work as one with the rest of the facility, because we don't have a suicide pact. We have to work together. Now, a number of persons would normally say, why you try these things, Ralph? International airport, education revolution, Raboka Bridge, 15 bridges in 3 years between 2014 and 2017. The jet airport in Grenadines. They say, why all these things which people said before were impossible to be done?
Good Prime Minister. Good Prime Minister, yeah.
Well, you know, what we say, when we are attempting these things, we are not unrealistic, you know. We say, be realistic and strive for the seemingly impossible. You know Toussaint Louverture, the leader of the Black Jacobins, who led the Haitian Revolution and defeated the French, the British and the Spanish. It was the same motto, you know. Be realistic and attempt what others think is impossible. But once you assess our strengths and weaknesses, our possibilities and limitations, we set about to extend the boundaries of what others may consider possible, reduce the weaknesses and limitations as far as is humanly practicable, and achieve things together which others felt could never have been achieved. You know, there are a lot of leaders who come to you with a lot of what I call small bear. I remember when we were building the Argyle International Airport, and we decided that we are going to have 2 air bridges, each of them 1 million USD, 1 million each. You know what was said of us by the local critics? This is what Ralph think. You see, he said the problem with Ralph, he has a champagne taste and Marby pocket. But the problem is this: they have no imagination as to what is possible, and they do not combine faith and reason, do not seek divine inspiration and marry it as one with the creative imagination which Almighty God has given us. You look, when this was being built, you know what they were saying?
Prime Minister, you do too much. When
this was being built,
you do too much.
The critics are saying,
you do too much.
who is he trying to fool? That could never done. Could never done this thing. And especially when the global economic crisis hit in 2008. Banana preferences have come to an end.
Oh, come to an end.
Clico and Baiko gone through their nose, making it hard for people. Climate change causing umpteen problems. But you know what happened? We were building this and building the Argyle International Airport at one and the same time.
Yeah, do too much.
I tell the comrades, I said, we don't talk too much about this.
Yeah, not do that. No do that.
The day will come when we will talk.
Right.
And when we talk, we will rejoice.
Right.
Like we're rejoicing now. I will tell you this. There's some years. Remember, you know, I have to find $30 million every month to pay civil servants and pensions.
No, none time.
You hear me? And I never miss one time. They miss all about you put your pot on your fire. You want to find out how Ralph getting your money? You getting it? When other people, when other governments in the region paying you 2 and 3 weeks late, you turn up at the bank, your money inside there. Every month in the worst period. But I had to manage the money.
Yes, and I manage on good.
So there are some years we spend just over $1 million here. Because I say, let me keep it ticking over.
Labor now.
Let me keep it ticking over.
Labor time. 4 in a row.
Doing it bit by bit.
5 in a row.
And determined to finish the airport first now. Because of the economic importance of that. Bit by bit. Little by little. Until
good.
We, in terms of the construction and the furniture and equipment provided by the government, that number came up to $44 million. It was 42, but we had to recently buy some other things. And then we got from the Cuban government and people, you assess their contribution here in money terms, it would be at least $4 million. Equipment and the technical advice and the design. This building was designed entirely by the Cubans and we didn't have to pay 1 single cent. In the same way that Fidel told them they must design the aerodrome at Argyle. Right. And we didn't pay 1 cent for it. And then of course, as I say, the Cubans gave us equipment. Lots of equipment. And when you go inside there, you will see some of them. For instance, the Cubans gave us a state-of-the-art piece of radiographers' equipment. Modern. You go by the operating theater. The theater is equipped by Cuban equipment. Other pieces too across the place. But I'm identifying a few major pieces. And when I go to Cuba next week, I'm going to ask them, you know, talk to them informally. Somebody name out from Cuba is going to be inside there by the theater. It's on the outside with a plaque, but it also has to be inside by the theater. Whoever believes in Georgetown, you will be able to come here and have an operation done. Whoever believes that you could come and do your blood test them here?
Nobody. Nobody know that.
Anybody believe that you could have come and do hemodialysis here if your kidney ain't functioning properly?
Nobody.
Eh?
Nobody.
They have equipment inside there. Could take picture from your mouth and from below. Take picture all over you. You hear me? And hear this now. Modern equipment that when they take the picture, they have the screen, they like TV, so they go see inside of you too. They hiding it from you. You hear why it's modern? You go here, you have intensive care unit. You go inside there and you will see, you know, you have more beds for intensive care here than down at Milton Keto. But what will happen if those at Milton Keto, if they full up and somebody else come in as an emergency and you ain't so badly off, we could put you in a top flight ambulance and send you up here to Dodo and equip yourself start up here by this one, by this one too. In other words, they are integrated, not separate. You overs? I'm giving you the concept. We decentralize, but at the same time we integrate. We don't decentralize and keep it apart. We decentralize with integration. I have to thank also the Korean government in South Korea. They made a contribution here too. If you add up all of those, plus the 44 million which we put in the government, and you add what Braxton did here with the roads, what the National Lottery did with the grassing, what Finlec did, what CWSA did, if you put in all of those things, you're knocking your head past 50 million. And I ain't put the land in yet. This facility is not only the most significant, the most expensive medical facility built since independence. It is the single largest expenditure of any medical facility since the establishment of the colonial hospital in the 19th century in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And when the colonial hospital was established in the 19th century, you had James Graham in 1876. His will, he gave £1,000. That's how he had the Graham wing added on down at the hospital. Before most of you here were born, that was added on. I see the chief medical officer wanting to know what's the Graham wing. That was done actually in 1902. And then Milton Cato did a lot of extension, and this government has done a great deal. And then the World Pediatric Project, we have added also to make Milton Cato the excellent facility that it is, but we still have improvements to do. But what we have here is the single largest investment in any health medical facility in the history of this country since the establishment of the colonial hospital in the 19th century. And it didn't cost what this one cost. Now, I want to take you on a little tour of this hospital, of this facility. I want to take you where we are. This is the service entrance. This is the back. The front, you have to go wrong by the side road just above, by Chile there. And there's a special entrance for the ambulance, and there's an entrance to take you to accident and emergency, and there's a general entrance further up. But if you start from here, well, first of all, let us see what is outside here. I don't know if you listen to Damien well. Damien Allen. Damien is from Jamaica. He loves St. Vincent. You see this? You see this tank there? That has fuel in it. And that fuel, you see how it's elevated? There's a big generator in the compound there, which is in a fence. You don't have to carry the fuel in a bucket. They elevated it there because the good old principle, Dr. Cyrus, of gravity feeding, it will go down and go to the generator. Outside here, we have the pump, we have a facility in respect of for waste and the like. We have air conditioned facility out here. When you go upstairs outside, if you get a chance to climb up on top, I don't think everybody will be able to do that today. You will see the sophisticated air conditioned systems, the heart and soul. But when you enter here, you have a number of ancillary facilities. You have the laundry with top of the line equipment, and you will see it, real modern top of the line equipment. And then the first big facility you meet is the 8 machines, the 8 kidneys, artificial kidneys. 6 of them are in one room. 2 are identified for children, but you can use them also with adults, but they have 4 there for adults. And then you have 2 isolation rooms with kidneys, artificial kidneys, the machines. One if you have hepatitis, another one if you have HIV. So you separate those from where you do it in the general area. You have the heart and soul of the dialysis facility right there. And you have the persons who are in charge, their offices. You have an area there You see the sign, peritoneal dialysis, which is a different kind of a dialysis. And as you go down, you will see the pharmacy. And then you will go, you will see offices for doctors and places for rest for nurses. You don't have those things down at Milton Cato, you know. The nurses love it up here because they have nice facilities. Look, they have places where they can go and sit down. They have beds on which they could lie down if they're tired. They have their bathroom, their shower, they have everything there. You see how the Cubans designed this thing properly? I'm giving you a picture for when you walk inside there. And then you walk into accident and emergency. Certain number of beds. They have the facilities as you go in and around. You have the operating theater. You have places for women. You heard the CMO talk about obstetrics and gynecology. That is not for man, that is for woman. And you have the area for cancer. You have the area to do your x-rays. You have sophisticated equipment for your diagnosing with blood. And I tell you, all of this sophisticated equipment, the Cubans and our people would have known about some of them, but some of the very modern equipment which came in, we brought in the people from overseas to provide training as to how to use these pieces of equipment. There's a lovely place to eat. There's a nice kitchen. When you go inside of it, you will see a modern health facility, medical and diagnostic, fit for a sophisticated people in the 21st century, which is what we have put down here.
Brighter day must come, brighter day must come.
Now, we are going to start here with over 120 members of staff. You hear it? Do you hear what I'm telling you? And the numbers are going to rise as the demand for services increases. I know you have people who come all the way from town to come up here. Well, they have to come here for dialysis, and they have to come for the cancer treatment. You will see the equipment inside of there where they mix in the drugs for the chemotherapy, sophisticated equipment, which will protect those also who are doing the mixing. You must go in and watch it, you know. Don't allow them to just let you play saxophone here today. You gotta come in and see the thing. You hear me? You gotta come in and see it. Now, when I hear they talk about health in this country, you know how much money we spending this year on health? Nearly $73 million on health delivery. Almost 100% more than what was spent when we came into government. We have specialties like they never hear about before, and facilities. And then you may say, well, comrade, we pay some things on the hospital. Well, I want to let you into something. Out of every dollar which we spend on health, we collect just about 2 cents out of every dollar. You hear me? So we have an issue dealing with the financing of healthcare. I want to flag it, but for a discussion on another occasion, not today. But to say to you that for every dollar which we spend on health, we only collect 2 cents out of the dollar. People go down to the pharmacy. The whole year, you know, you will go down there and you will get 9 of the items you want, 9 out of 10. But the day you go there and you find that you don't get one, and where Alpha do? We are doing the taxes, and the 9 you get, you know, you ain't paying more than $5 at any time, you know, and sometimes you're paying 0. You have it good, you know. You have it really good. You have it really good. You hear me? And then we are talking about you have to train people. When we came to office in 2001, there was a nursing shortage. We now have a nursing surplus. There are 2 countries in the Caribbean which have more nurses than they require for their health system. It's Cuba and St. Vincent and the I was just talking to one of the nurses who yesterday when I came here, Vincent, she was trained in Cuba. I said, yes, I saw you when I came to Matanzas. Didn't I see you there twice when I came to Matanzas? She said, yes, I was there when you came. She's working in the area of the hemodialysis. A local. Well, when we came to office, I said there are 2 ways you can deal with a shortage. You either bring nurses, or you train them, or both. And I went to see Fidel in September 2001. And by November, he sent me 20 nurses. For 2 years. And I embarked on a program of training nurses vigorously. And you know what we did? St. Vincent and the Grenadines, from 2001 to today, is the only country in the Caribbean which give the nurses a free education, and we pay them $1,000 a month to go to school. You overs? Because the training of nurses is a very expensive business. And from September, we are not just, you know, the registered nursing program. At the community college, we are going to start from September degree. So you're going to have a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. And I'm not taking away the money. I'm not taking away the money. You still will get you'll still get the monthly money. A lot of the nurses who are over there to come from, who are going to be here, who have been recruited. If we didn't have that nursing program, 90% of them would not have been in nursing because they would not have been able to afford to go into nursing. The poor and the working people would not have been able to do nursing if the Unity Labour Party did not come to power and give free training and also the $1,000 a month. Are they right for clap for that? And insofar as doctors are concerned, the number of doctors whom we have trained them at the University of the West Indies, we have trained them in Cuba, trained them all over the world, and in specialities too. But we also did something. We brought 4 medical schools to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and at each of these schools you have many Vincentians who are doing medicine right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know, when you have these things happening, we can build the concrete, we can put the facilities, but you need the people to song you, to take your pressure, to give you injection, to use the scalpel on you, to check you out with the dialysis, to take the picture from top and bottom. You understand what? You can have them, you know, but you need people. So we invest in that. That is part of the development of medical care and healthcare in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And as a result, our numbers are very good in respect of healthcare. What happens is this. Anytime any error takes place at the hospital, you're hearing it on the radio, but you're hearing when the hundreds and hundreds of lives are being saved. As always, people love bad news more than good news. Some people love bad news more than good news. And those who want to replace me, they love bad news. Well, let us get the good news which is here right now. Let us get the good news. Why should I worry? Why should I fear? When we live on the burn. And these health facilities are built in the manner in which we are dealing with them to deal with the issues which confront us a lot. We need to eat better, drink better, because the real killers are diabetes and hypertension and stroke and heart problem. And of course, accidents and criminal violence. I want to ask the persons on the road, drive carefully. Because when you don't drive carefully, people get injured, you know. People die. And when you can't control your temper with the violence, people get killed or they get chopped up. They get shot. It's a cost to the medical service and to the taxpayers of this country. So all of those things we are taking into account. But as Luke said, and as the chief medical officer said, it's better if you organize yourself in such a way that you don't have to come here at all. Because if you're healthy, you don't have as much reason to come here as if you're not well. And then here, we are developing specialities for the elderly. You know, the population in the country is getting older. We're living longer. So we have to make sure we take better care of the elderly. We have home health for the elderly, but we have facilities here and other parts in the health sector to help to take care of the old people. I know that when this begins fully operational next week, Monday, Carnival Monday, because as the Chief Medical Officer tells you, by the way, until very recently she was the youngest Chief Medical Officer in the whole of the Caribbean, you know. And she's a fantastic woman. We have high quality people, you know. High quality people. And when this opens, I don't want the private doctors to feel badly if they don't make as much money as before. Because I will tell you, I see the statistics in terms of health facilities. Between 2001 and 2012, I have the figures from the census. 4,205 people went to the hospital in the month before the census. The hospitals across the country, main one at Kingston. 11,815 went to a district health center or a health clinic. 7,051 went to private doctor's office. But interestingly, only 58 more went to the private doctor's office in 2012 than in 2001. But 3,500 more went to the clinics and the rural facilities. You know why? Because they're improving. And the people go in there, as the people will come here. You see, we don't do things by guess, you know, we study the numbers. Study the numbers. And the elderly, particularly with hypertension and diabetes, and you'd expect arthritis. And the children, a lot of them have asthma. And you'll find here you don't have to go to town to hook up by any asthma machine, you know. We have 3 stations here where you can hook up, right here in Georgetown. And this is being done for the people from roughly 40,000 people from Bayaboo to Fancy. But because Mespo nearby, Mespo come wrong too. And everybody from all over the country will come up here for dialysis. They'll come for dialysis, and they will come for cancer treatment and other forms of diagnostic treatments. Now the people in Georgetown, and I don't want anybody here to feel jealous about Georgetown, because it's second town. Let me tell you some of the big things which were done here. Well, we built this. We turned the Georgetown Hospital into a smart hospital. We built over the primary school. We built a school for children with special needs. We built arguably the best early childhood center anywhere in the Eastern Caribbean inside of the Methodist churchyard. We built the biggest police station you have in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You see it there? But when we build these things, we want everybody to take care of them. And the playing field. And I want to ask the nurses and the doctors that even though you have all the skills, I'm asking you please to remember that you are taking care of fellow human beings. I know sometimes you get tired and they frustrate you, but bear back with them. Talk to them good. You know, don't behave like a beast to them. I know the vast majority of the nurses and doctors are very good, but in between you have one or two who you need to make sure, because I hear the complaints, you know, they come to me. And we have to make sure we have increased the salaries of the nurses and doctors since 2001, ranging between 77% and 100%. Yes. They do very good work and they deserve what they get. And they deserve even more money. But at the moment they can't give no more. At the moment. Because look at what I had to take the money and do. You appreciate? You have to appreciate that. And I want to thank all those who worked on this facility. Those who designed, those who did all the different kinds of work. And this was an intricate matter. And I must say this, that Luke Brown is under his watch, that we are having some of the most magnificent facilities. This one is opening, is opening today. The mental health center. All the work which was done at Milton Cato Memorial recently. The two polyclinics. I am told the one at Mespo and the one down in Bucament, within a couple of weeks' time, the furniture and equipment should be in. And as soon as that happens, we will sort that out and open those. There's one at Stubbs. In fact, there's so many things we build, we never even open the one at Stubbs. We never even open the one at Stubbs, but it's functioning. And I say this, the large crowd which is here is testimony to the appreciation of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for what Fidel has done, what Cuba has done, and what the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines have done. We have other services to add, and I'm telling you, today is a day of which I am very proud. And I would say this, who don't know, who don't experience the stresses and strains to get some of these things, don't know. But you have to be cheerful all the time and you have to be optimistic. And you can't be worried about the critics. As a man and woman in the arena, you do what you have to do. With the help of Almighty God and with each other. Celebrate modern medical diagnostic center within the framework of the modern medical complex, incorporating the clinic and the Georgetown Smart Hospital. Revolutionary facilities in all, unique, not only in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but in the region. Thank God, and thank you, and thank you.
She offers me protection.
You can hike the mountain. If you know them is there, not too far.
You're setting off the alarm.
Yes, very soon it will be the water. The shower.
Para tirarle una foto y decirle a la amiga mía, mira, aquí es donde tú tienes que establecer tu oficina, mira, mira qué lindo. Tiene una sensación de calma, ¿verdad? Así como...
You come this side and you take this with the